Welcome to the eligibility module. During this module, we will review the eligibility requirements for all BSS Plus enrollments. These eligibility requirements are set by the City of Austin and must be strictly adhered to. You will notice there are a couple of exceptions to the eligibility rules, which we will cover, but as always, please refer to the BSS Plus Program Manual for further explanation. Towards the end of this module, we will also briefly review the difference between a one-time financial assistance enrollment and a case management enrollment. So when you start the program, as soon as you get your first referral, the very first thing you need to do is ensure that the client and every single member of that client's household is not currently enrolled in a BSS Plus program at another agency, and that they have also not been enrolled in a BSS Plus program within the past 12 months. So the way that you check that is you can go into HMIS Service Point and check under the Entry Exit tab, and then in addition to that, because you're not able to see all program enrollments within the collaborative due to different confidentialities, you must go to Program Resources on the BSS Plus website and check the Client Ineligibility log. On that Client Ineligibility log, you need to check both first and last name and cross-reference also with the client's birth date. Additionally, not only do you need to check for the head of household, but you also need to ensure that no one else that is presenting for services within that household has been enrolled in a program within the last 12 months or is currently enrolled in another program. So once you determine that your referral and all of their household members are not currently enrolled in a BSS Plus program within the collaborative, and they have not participated in a BSS Plus program within the last 12 months, you can then start with the eligibility and screening form. If you need further information about how to complete the eligibility and screening form, please refer to the monitoring and training guide. So once you get through the screening and the eligibility form, all of these components that have been set by the city contract that have to do with program eligibility are going to be within that screening and eligibility form, including that the household has to be at or below 200% of the federal poverty line. And that's based on the gross income for the entire household. There are different examples or a comprehensive list of what is considered included income and what is excluded income, and that you can find in the monitoring guide. Also, if a household presents at entry for services and they exceed 200% of the federal poverty line, their gross income exceeds 200% of the federal poverty line, they can be exempt from that eligibility requirement if they are currently experiencing homelessness or if they are fleeing domestic violence. And then also, if you want further information about these exceptions, please refer to the program manual because it's going to review all of the exceptions to the eligibility requirements. And then it's also going to discuss what happens when someone is exempt from these services and then moves into housing, which is considered transitional case management. So please review that in the program manual. There's also an example table of the federal poverty level on this slide, and this is from 2017, but naturally it's going to change and update every single year. So you're going to need to refer back to the most updated one, which will be on the screening and eligibility form. So the next components of program eligibility as set by the city include that all referrals that are entering the program must be a resident of the City of Austin and or Travis County. And we've got listed on this slide for you the different ways that you can check for that eligibility. You can go to the Travis County Appraisal District and put in their the household's street address and confirm that it's in the City of Austin and or Travis County. And then you can also go to the Austin GIS Jurisdictions web map to also place in that address. In addition to the residency, the household also has to be in a financial crisis. The household must be able to be housing stable within 12 to 24 months. And they also must be eligible at a partner agency for BSS Plus services. So if someone is seeking services at, say, family elder care, they also have to, in addition to these city-required program eligibility requirements, they also have to meet the individual agency's eligibility needs. And that might be that they have to be a senior, or that they have to be someone that's presenting with a disability or a certain medical illness. And that is all going to vary by the agency that you are working for. So something that I also wanted to mention, when it comes to residency, it's the same exemptions as I just mentioned for the income exemptions. So if someone is experiencing current homelessness and or fleeing domestic violence, then they are exempt from that top program eligibility requirement of being a resident of Austin and or Travis County. And again, to review those the parameters and take a deeper dive into what those exemptions mean, and then what it means that once someone has been moved into housing, they would then need to move into transitional case management, and all of that is explained in the program manual. So let's move on to the difference between one-time financial assistance and a case management enrollment. So your household you've verified and collected all of their documentation to confirm that they've met all of the program eligibility requirements. They have not participated in a BSS Plus program in the last 12 months, and they're not currently enrolled. So you're ready to move forward with deciding if it's what type of enrollment that this household is going to be brought into the BSS Plus program with. So one-time financial assistance is just that. The household is being brought in. Their entry date is say they come in on January 1st. You complete all the paperwork. You decide that this household is best fit for one-time financial assistance. So their entry date is going to be January 1st. Their exit date is going to be January 1st. Their service transactions for whatever type of financial assistance you provide is going to be January 1st. It's all going to occur on one day, because that household, if you determine that they are an OTFA household, then they only get services on that one day. And so when you're assessing to determine what is best for this household, typically all of your enrollments, the majority of all your enrollments, are going to be case management, because case management is critical to obtaining housing and maintaining that housing. So, but in some rare cases, you will determine that the household really only needs a one-time financial assistance. So you do have to complete all of the eligibility documents and required forms, and those are included on the BSS Plus website. Like I said, the entry, exit, and service transaction date all are on the same exact date. But there's also an OTFA check request policy that's on the BSS Plus website under financial resources, and you can review an in-depth policy when it comes to an OTFA enrollment and how to request funds for that. Now, when this is something that's really, really important to know about an OTFA enrollment. These enrollments require a program manager approval and signature on the screening and eligibility form. This is because OTFA enrollments should be rare and only used when truly appropriate. Once a household is enrolled as OTFA, all members of that household are then ineligible. They are not eligible for additional BSS Plus services for 12 months following their exit date. And you must make the client aware of this. Case management is a critical element to ensure a household will become stable in housing and establish the skills necessary to avoid returning to homelessness. And therefore, please only offer one-time financial assistance to households that are either already receiving case management through another program or elsewhere in the community, or to a household that you and your program manager have determined that case management is truly not necessary. Now, say you enroll a household in OTFA. They come in, they say they just need 1 month's worth of rent paid, and then they're going to be stable and they've got no issues moving forward. You give them that OTFA enrollment, you provide them that check for $800 for 1 month's worth of rent, you exit them, and then within 30 days of their exit date, they come back to your agency and say that they need additional assistance. So then you can, at that time, assess them to transition from OTFA to case management. But if they come back on the 31st day, they are not eligible. So this is why you really need to have a comprehensive conversation with this household up front, explaining the parameters of what OTFA truly means. But if they come back on the 20th day and they're like, you know what, that one-time assistance really wasn't enough. I need case management. I need connections to local resources. I need a little bit more support. Then you can transition that household from OTFA to case management. The thing is, though, that you have to complete all new paperwork for this household. So you're doing a lot of paperwork if you take the risk of enrolling someone in OTFA and then they need to come back for additional services within that 30 days. So all new paperwork has to be done. You need a new proof of income dated within the 30-day range. You need to do a totally new intake packet. And then when you go into HMIS, you've got that enrollment already created for OTFA. Do not create a new enrollment in HMIS. We simply change the client's OTFA enrollment from OTFA to CM for case management, deleting the exit date, and then you'll also update and add any data required for case management, because there are a couple additional data elements that are required for case management in HMIS. And then also something to remember, that when someone comes back to transition from OTFA to case management, that original OTFA financial assistance, so that $800 that you already gave them, comes out of their financial cap. They do not get to start over with the financial caps. So that does it for the program eligibility portion of your program orientation. Thank you.